Hello people, it's your boy Islam back again with a match reaction. Finally, after 3 months, we can finally say those words. Sadly, Man United did not get all 3 points. However, we drew 1-1 to Spurs, scoring the last 10 minutes of the game to get the draw. It was an eventful second half, to say the least. I did actually call this practically to a T on my match preview. If you haven't checked that out, obviously your boy knows I said it's going to be 1-1. I said Jose Mourinho was going to do this. I did also say that it's going to be cagey. Very dull game, in particular the first half was absolutely horrendous. We had that chance where Rashford had an opportunity when I believe Davinson Sanchez flicked it on from across. Rashford really should do better. But nevertheless, Spurs took the lead with what was atrocious defending by Maguire. And then on top of that, David De Gea, an absolute howler. Shocking by De Gea. He hits the straight at him. He parries it into the net. Listen, Man United fans, what are your thoughts on De Gea? Would you sell him? Are we going to get Dean Henderson? Is De Gea finished now? What are your thoughts? I want to know from every Man United fan. Let me know. But that aside, in the second half, we showed our class. And, first half was very disappointing. There wasn't quality. I said in the match preview that we're going to be very slow starting the game. The quality in terms of football is not going to be there. The ball retention was terrible by both teams. I think Spurs kind of grew into the second half after the goal. I thought they probably finished the second half, for me personally, the far superior team in terms of ball retention and just overall play. They seem like they're going to get a second, potentially. Not that they created any chances, but just the way they were moving the ball, it was a lot slicker. There seemed more impetus to their movement off the ball as well. But it was very laboured, I've got to be honest. It was poor, lacking creativity. But in the second half, we had creativity in abundance. And on another day, we would have won this game 3-4-1. 3-4-1. We just got 3 or 4 to their one goal, of course. But I'm not putting this on, I'm not going to put this, first of all, I'm just going to say the result for me is not a bad result. Obviously, Spurs for me are a quality team away from home against a Jose Mourinho team that's going to be very resilient and very hard to break down. So it was a very good draw in the end. But I just think it came down to the lack of match sharpness. And I'm not saying that as an excuse. I thought Spurs were pretty piss poor as well in that sense. But in particular, Harry Kane, I thought he was absolutely atrocious. He didn't look sharp at all. And it was the same for Martial and Rashford. Of course, I already mentioned the Rashford chances. He did actually have a chance to equalise for us within 5 minutes of them scoring, where a ball got crossed in from, I think, Bruno from a free kick. And Rashford completely missed the ball. So in that sense, he was very poor. Just his decision-making as well towards the end of the game was poor. We'll come up on that shortly. But there was one moment of brilliance as soon as Pogba came on. He almost scored with his first touch. It was beautiful link up with him and Bruno. But it was also a moment when Pogba passes the ball to Bruno through the lines. Bruno turns, plays it to Martial. Martial has taken a beautiful touch. He's practically 1-on-1 and he just hesitates to shoot. And Dai comes back and blocks, and that just summed up our sort of level in terms of match sharpness. On another day, man, Martial, if he's on form, if he's firing prior to the break, as he was, he's bagging that every day of the week. The fact that he allowed Dyer, who's not known for his speed, to get back, it was just poor, man. And then Lloris made a ridiculous save as well. A fantastic shot from Martial on the left foot. It looks like he's going top bins, and Lloris somehow gets a hand to it and tips over the ball. We were definitely growing into the game. I thought for me in the second half was what I'd expect from a Man United team. We were resilient. We were in their face, from the minute go of the second half. And for that, I've got to respect Oli. Obviously, he must have fired a rocket up the arse at half time, because they were much the different team in the second half. Clearly a game of 2 halves. But for me personally, we deserve to win the game. I think the balance on both halves, I think we just did enough to get the victory, in my personal opinion. Obviously, Spurs fans probably disagree. But nevertheless, a resilient performance in the end. On another day, we would have won, like I said. The chance Martial had when Dyer gets back to block it. On another day, if he's sharp, he scores that. But we got a game against Sheffield out on the week, so I'll take the draw. It's not a disaster. I'm just happy we got something out of the game in the end, because there was a moment I think it's going to be one of them days that they're just going to hold on. So let's go through the team and player rating. So we'll start with David De Gea, of course. He made that most important error, so De Gea didn't really do anything in terms of saves. He made that fantastic save after his mistake of Son, but bar that, he contributed jack shit. So for me personally, I can't give him more than a 3. I think that might be a bit generous. I don't know if you like disagree or agree, but let me know in the comment section. Right back for me, Wan-Bissaka, I thought he was fantastic defensively. He gave everything to the game. Given it was his first game back, of course his delivery in the box wasn't fantastic, but I'm going to give him a 7. The 2 centre backs, Maguire obviously fought for the goal. He's going to get a 5. I think, bar that mistake, I thought it was fantastic. Practically pockets gained the whole game. I think Lindelof was okay. He didn't really put a foot wrong for me personally, so I'm going to give him a 7. Left back for me, Luke Shaw. I thought first half he was a bit poor. Second half he was driving forward. Granted, his distribution could have been a bit better, but I thought in the second half he was very good, especially in the last 30 minutes. He was resilient. He was pressing. He was trying to make something happen. Again, his quality wasn't there, but he had intention. So for that reason, I'm going to give him a 7. Moving on to the middle of the field, Fred for me was absolutely atrocious on the ball. He was very wasteful. In terms of ball retention, he was fantastic. He was breaking up the play as you would expect from him, but it's just didn't offer us anything on the ball. He kept giving it away cheaply. Again, that's coming back to similar to Martial. It's just that Matt Sharper's obviously first game back is going to be difficult. But I'm going to give Fred a 6. McTominay alongside him, very similar. I thought he gave put a lot of passion and put a lot of fight into it. But I'm gonna give him a 6. I don't think he'd give much more than a 6. I thought it was a steady performance from both of them. You could argue they were probably touching 7s. Moving on to Bruno, I thought Bruno was fantastic. He was everywhere on the pitch, man. He was making things happen. As the commentator said, he was an architect. He was trying to make something happen out of nothing. And for me personally, if it wasn't for Bruno, we would have been absolute dog shit in the first half. At least he was creating something or trying to make something happen. So for that reason, and of course he got the goal, although it's a penalty, I'm going to give him a 7. I don't think he'd give him more than a 7 because I don't think he was as influential, but on another day he could have been an 8. I suppose it's probably touching an 8, given he should have got the assist for Martial as well. Obviously when he played the ball to him and he got a Dyer tackled him. Moving on to right wing James, I thought James was absolutely shit. I like James. I think he's going to be a very good squad option off the bench, but yeah, he just struggles breaking teams down, of course, in terms of quality. When you're playing against a team that doesn't park the bus, he's an asset, but against a team that parks the bus, he's basically the invisible man, really. So I'm going to give him a 4. Yeah, he didn't offer anything for me. Moving on to Rashford again, he was kind of poor as well. Like I said, on another day, he would have scored a couple. Right at the end, when we got that second penalty that was overturned, Rashford for me was terrible in that phase. He had to play the ball to Bruno prior. It looked like he was trying to bend the ball around the defender and he was just caught in 2 minds, but nevertheless that was a very good opportunity for us to capitalise. And it's just a couple of other things. He was very sloppy. Overall, he played a good 90 minutes under his belt, but obviously I think he would probably look at that and think, no, on another day I should have got 2 goals. So I'm going to give him a 6. And I think for me, Martial was, again, he grew into the game in the last in the second half, really, I guess. I was going to say last 35 minutes, but he wasn't on the pitch from after 75th minute. I think he got taken off. So he kind of grew into the game. He was poor in the first half, like I said. Just not with it, man. Just not with the race. A lot of the players just lacked match sharpness for me personally. And for Martial, for his standards, I'm going to have to give him a 5. He has to score that chance. Not the Lloris save, but the other one that he takes too long. He hesitates. Again, that's poor. Substitutes, Pogba has to be a 6, almost a 7. Obviously, he only had a small cameo, 30-minute cameo. He was absolutely sensational. In terms of increasing the tempo, he was pivotal in that. He was just fantastic for me personally. Who else came on as a sub? Gala came on. He can't really give him much of a rating, so I'm going to give him 5. And I think Matic had a good game coming off the bench. I'll give him a 5 as well. I don't think he could have done much more or much less, so to speak. I'll probably miss somebody off the bench. Oh, Greenwood. I thought Greenwood was very good. He looked like a threat. He came on alongside Pogba. I'm going to give Greenwood a 6. I thought, he almost won it for us in the last kick of the game. That would have been scenes. But I thought he was just... It gave us different, obviously, dynamic compared to James, and he just had the ability to go past his man, something James seemed to be lacking in. But yeah, for me personally, I don't even know who I've given man of the match. I'm not going to lie, but it's probably, in fact, it must be Bruno. And obviously, Bruno for me has to have been man of the match for Man United. I thought he was the main player. I think I give him a 7. He was a 7 touching in an 8. I don't want to be too generous and give him an 8, and I think on another day, if Martial scores, he probably would have got an 8. But nevertheless, obviously, that has been your match reaction. Let me know what you think. For me personally, we deserve to win the game just about. That wasn't a penalty, the second one. Fantastic play by Pogba. I didn't even mention it, to get the penalty. Phenomenal by him, so that was absolutely brilliant. He practically clawed the game out of nothing. We didn't look like we were going to score. We were kind of knocking on the door, but just didn't look like it was going to go in. So absolutely over the moon with that from Pogba. But what I saw in the second half is there's something to work with in terms of momentum. There is some sort of, link-up play there by Pogba and Bruno. In the second half, we look sensational. Hopefully, we can start the game that against Sheffield United, because we're going to have to be on our A game. That's how it has been your boys, man. Drop a like, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Peace.